So let's talk about millennials, the generation born between 1981 and 1996. They're often called digital natives, but there's so much more to their story than just growing up with technology. Millennials grew up as the world shifted from analog to digital, witnessing the rise of Google, social media, and the fall of Blockbuster. They experienced dial-up internet, floppy disks, and the excitement of the first iPods, all before streaming and smartphones became the norm. Millennials remember life before smartphones, but now can't imagine living without them. They've watched technology evolve at lightning speed, adapting to each new wave with curiosity and resilience. They learned to adapt quickly, constantly updating their skills as technology evolved. From learning coding basics in school to mastering new apps for work, millennials are lifelong learners by necessity. Major events like 9/11 and the 2008 financial crisis shaped their worldview, making them skeptical of traditional institutions. These moments taught them to question authority and seek out their own sources of truth. They value security and transparency because they saw the world's foundations shake during their formative years. Financial uncertainty and rapid change made them resourceful and cautious, but also hopeful for a better future. Millennials aren't a monolith. Over 70 million in the US alone, each with a unique story. They come from every background, culture, and walk of life, bringing a wide range of perspectives to the table. But they share a common thread: coming of age as the world was being rewritten in real time. They've learned to navigate uncertainty and embrace change as a constant companion. They're the beta testers of the 21st century, navigating bugs, crashes, and breakthroughs. Every new app, device, or trend has passed through their hands first. They're not just killing industries, they're building new ones, smartphone in hand. From startups to side hustles, millennials are redefining what it means to work and create. If you want to understand the modern world, start by understanding millennials. Their choices, values, and innovations are shaping the future for everyone. They're the bridge between the past and the future, connecting generations, ideas, and possibilities in ways we're only beginning to understand. Every generation gets misunderstood, often reduced to a single stereotype or a catchy headline. But for millennials, it's about more than avocado toast or fancy lattes. That's just the surface. They watched their parents work long hours, sacrificing family time, only to face layoffs and shrinking pensions when they needed security most. Millennials decided life should be more than a slow march to retirement or a race to accumulate things. They value experiences, travel, and time with loved ones over climbing the corporate ladder or chasing job titles. It's not entitlement. It's a new social contract. Work to live, not live to work. They're seeking meaning, not just a paycheck. They want balance, not burnout. Mental health and well-being matter just as much as career success. Growing up online, they were exposed to diverse cultures and ideas, making them open-minded, adaptable, and accepting of differences. They champion causes like racial equality, LGBTQ+ rights, and gender equity, not as politics but as basic human values that everyone deserves. Millennials aren't trying to destroy traditions. They're building a more balanced, inclusive world where everyone has a voice. They question the old ways because they've seen their flaws firsthand, and they're not afraid to ask for better. Their drive to improve and innovate is something to celebrate, not criticize. They're pushing boundaries and reimagining what's possible. They're not lazy. They're redefining what matters, putting purpose and passion at the center of their lives. The world they're building is more connected, more compassionate, and more curious than ever before. That's worth paying attention to, and maybe even learning from. Millennials didn't invent the internet, but they grew up alongside it, watching it evolve from dial-up connections to lightning-fast wireless networks. They made the internet essential, weaving it into every aspect of daily life, from work to play. For them, a smartphone is everything. Office, bank, map, camera, and social hub, all in the palm of their hand. They're fluent in technology. It's second nature, as instinctive as breathing. Need a ride, food, or a date? There's an app for that, thanks to millennial innovation and their drive to simplify life. They value efficiency and convenience, using tech to solve everyday problems and streamline even the smallest tasks. But it's not just about convenience. Technology is how they build communities, collaborate, and spark movements that reach across the globe. Social media is their digital town square, where a hashtag can start a revolution or unite people around a cause. They use these platforms to organize, share information, and amplify voices that were once ignored or overlooked. Millennials are lifelong learners. If they don't know something, they Google it, watch a tutorial, or join an online course. This resourcefulness makes them adaptable and resilient, able to pivot quickly in a fast-changing world. They can learn anything, anytime, from anywhere, turning every moment into an opportunity for growth. Their digital fluency is their superpower, giving them the confidence to tackle new challenges head-on. It's made them the most connected, informed, and innovative generation yet, always ready to collaborate and create. They're not just using technology, they're shaping the future with it, building the tools and platforms that will define tomorrow. And as the digital world keeps evolving, millennials are just getting started, ready to lead the way into what comes next. Millennials walked into the corporate world and asked, "Does it have to be this way?" They championed flexible schedules and remote work long before it was mainstream. For them, productivity isn't about hours in an office, it's about results. Many are building their own businesses, turning passions into professions. Inside companies, they push for collaboration, transparency, and purpose-driven work. They want managers who coach, not command. Millennials crave meaning in their work and want to see the impact they make. Companies that adapt to these values attract the best talent. Millennials aren't avoiding work, they're redesigning it to be smarter, more flexible, and more human. Their blueprint for the future of work benefits everyone. Woke gets tossed around, but for millennials, awareness of social and political issues is core. They care deeply about justice, equality, and the environment. It's not a trend, it's their identity. Millennials shattered the stigma around mental health, making it normal to talk about struggles and seek help. They demand better mental health resources at work and in society. Their passion for equality is fierce. They champion racial justice, gender equality, and LGBTQ+ rights. They expect brands and employers to stand for something meaningful. Millennials vote with their wallets, supporting businesses that make a positive impact. They're also leading the charge on sustainability, pushing for renewable energy and reducing waste. They know their choices, from food to fashion, affect the planet's future. Millennials aren't just talking about change, they're living it. Their activism is reshaping culture, business, and politics. They're setting new standards for what it means to be responsible citizens, and they're not backing down. Being a millennial isn't easy. They face unique, brutal economic challenges. Student debt is crushing, making it hard to save, buy a home, or start a family. Skyrocketing housing costs mean many millennials rent with roommates, not by choice but necessity. Job security is rare. Short-term contracts and gig work are the norm. They're constantly hustling, learning new skills just to stay afloat. This instability makes planning for the future tough. Financial and professional stress takes a toll, fueling anxiety. Millennials are called the anxious generation, but it's not by choice. Their focus on wellness and self-care is about survival, not luxury. They're not just trying to thrive, they're fighting to survive in a system stacked against them. Despite the challenges, millennials are relentlessly optimistic and creative. They're builders, problem solvers, and innovators, fixing broken systems instead of just complaining. Their activism powers movements like Black Lives Matter and March for Our Lives. Millennial entrepreneurs are redefining business, proving you can do well by doing good. They're making companies more ethical, transparent, and mission-driven. The world needs this energy. Old solutions aren't working. Millennials bring fresh ideas, digital savvy, and a global mindset. They challenge authority and ask tough questions. Don't just think of avocado toast. Think of activists, entrepreneurs, and creators reimagining our future. They're the we generation, not the me generation. They know we're all in this together. Their passion and belief in a better world are exactly what we need. The future depends on their energy, and they're ready to lead.